Hello and welcome back to a new news video for Elden Ring and from software in general. Today I have three topics to discuss. First, with the recent major patch to Elden Ring, patch 1.07, tons of changes were made to the meta of the game, which involved a major request of the community being balancing of PvP and PvE separately. And while this changed, as long as the many specific updates to spells, weapons and ashes were awesome, something else happened in that patch that we weren't exactly expecting. Indications of our first proper content update for Elden Ring are now in the files of the game. This could be in prep for a DLC, or maybe a smaller, maybe even free update. Of course, it all ties to the three arenas that are fleshed out and yet unused around the lands between. The unused PvP rank system that's been in the files since day one, and the very reasonable speculation that we'll get match-made PvP using these three arenas. It certainly seems to have more merit now. Not only that, but I do also want to recap the current situation with Project Abyss and Armored Core and the two potential next games from Fromsoft. We're expecting big news and soon though, thanks to patch 1.07 and the big events happening in the coming months and right now. Let's kick off the video though with the major details of patch 1.07 and the potential DLC prep involved. The source of this information comes from familiar names: Zully the Witch, Lance McDonald, and Sekiro Doobie. These three have been brilliant aspects of the From Software community, especially with Elden Ring, for finding surprising details within the game files. As patch 1.07 released, Lance McDonald found ray tracing features tied to new menu strings, and then an apparent reference to two new maps that don't exist yet. Zully the Witch was able to clarify further from what Lance was referring to. These IDs show the maps in game, and the new files show two new IDs called M20 and M45, which according to Zully, M30 maps are the tags for side dungeons, M60 are overworld areas, and our main areas, the legacy dungeons, well, those are tagged M10 to M19. So that tag of M20 suggests a new map, and a main one, a new legacy dungeon currently unrevealed. On the other hand, M45 is a total outlier, something new. If we loop back to the old three arena speculation that matchmaking PvP will surely come to Elden Ring much like it did the other games, well, those arenas could be a perfect place. Maybe M45 refers to a map you load into when you do arena. In game now, they're fleshed out arenas with lifts, various entrances and passages, huge viewing stands, the suitable arena itself, and an awesome view in the background. There's also that whole unused rank up system with potential leaderboards. That's still unused, so perhaps M45 is an arena map tied to that unused system, but that's our assumption, our speculation for now. Of course, there are also more maps in the list that could be alternative arenas or something completely different. Things line up more, however, after Sekiro Doobie went on to look deeper into this. As it turns out, there's now also 4 new unused parameters for text banners. You know, the cool text that pops up when you do something like boss defeated, you died, and so on. Well, there's 4 new ones in the files as of this patch. These are begin match, you win, draw, and you lose. Clearly tied to the arenas. Perfect for PvP battles that's just started, that you either just won or you lost or you've drawn. And within those files, the term map_M61_arena was also found. So yeah, really seems like an arena map. So in conclusion to that, we have multiple unused maps in the files of this new patch. Even more suggestions that it is to do with arenas and match-made PvP. But the question is this truly DLC? Or is it maybe an upcoming smaller content update? Evidence does suggest DLC though. We credit this to Lance McDonald once again, who found the string DLC store. When translated, this apparently states, new DLC installed. DLC will not be reflected until you return to the title screen. So at very least, it seems like it's tagged as downloadable content, be it major and paid, or smaller like a smaller content update. It's all very interesting, but I should now say as a reminder that none of this is concrete. These files could just be put in the game and never used. That's entirely possible. Of course, it does line up in various ways with what we've been speculating and content update for Elden Ring in general, be it small or big. But my advice to you, if this stuff interests you, is that you actually follow Zully the Witch, Lance McDonald, and Sekiro Doobie, at least on Twitter. But they all make great content around this stuff on their various YouTube channels as well, which is well worth checking out. Today, I've shown you stills of the things that we're talking about, but there's also proper videos to check out on these things with more details that I've intentionally kept out of this video. So a huge thank you to them for the work they do. I find it fascinating. Now, with Gamescom Asia happening over the weekend, October 20th to the 23rd, we may very well have some answers. it could be the suitable place for From Software to announce the DLC, or whatever update they're actually planning. Or it could be the right time to announce their next major project, which they've been working on for years now. You see, in a recent interview with 4Gamer, Miyazaki explained that their next big project is actually already in its final stages of development, and so speculation around what that could be has been ongoing. Now, as I've covered this in its own video, I'll only mention it briefly today. Armored Core is a previous series by From Software in which you pilot a combat-based mech. Described as an armchair engineer style of game, you will battle out against normal military means as well as other mechs in awesome settings. But it's been a whole 10 years since the last game, while From Software's been on, its Soulsborne grind. Various leaks, marketing, and even accidental reveals by From Software seem to suggest that that major project that's almost complete could very well be Armored Core. Hilariously, very recently, the main From Software website had its description briefly listed as Armored Core, which obviously wasn't intentional because they fixed it as fast as possible. And super recently, at a Japanese convention for hobbycraft, figurines and such, Kotobukiya announced its new Armored Core figurine based on concept art that was never used in the games. The timing of this is super suspicious, building interest and acknowledging the series again after so long. But if you'd like to learn more about the game series and what we're expecting, you can check out my full video on that topic. On the other hand, what if it's somehow not Armored Core? Is there something else that they could be working on that this could be? Well, maybe. Very recently, there was supposedly a leak of something called Project Abyss, another From Software title currently in development, which is reasonable with their normal schedule. In that 4Gamer interview, Miyazaki mentioned some changes in that process, as they're going to show us a, quote, new color for From Software. He explained that Elden Ring wasn't possible without the development of the human resources in the company. That he's now going to trust more projects to them after this success. He specifically stated that several other titles directed by other people than him are currently in the works now, and they've been on this massive recruitment drive since then as well. Essentially, they're trusting more people to direct projects for them. They've massively increased their staff and continue to do so, and so surely off the back of Elden Ring's success, they're just wanting to increase production. This should mean that From Software's title releases will increase in speed, and maybe we'll even see one title a year. That will be interesting. Of course, that's only a good thing if it matches the current standard, but I do trust Miyazaki to know what he's doing, obviously. In any case, this suggests that, yeah, even if Armored Core is the next thing, that doesn't mean other projects aren't currently being worked on. In fact, that's very likely. And that's where this leak comes in. Although it doesn't seem all that trustworthy, it is interesting. It suggested that there's a new Soulsborne style of game in the works already, maybe in its very early stages. It suggested that this project is called Abyss and is set far in the future of the Souls series universe, a sort of Dark Souls 3.5. So that's why I don't really believe in this leak at all. I have it in my head that the Dark Souls series is officially finished. That's what they've said they're doing, and they're going to work on new projects, IP, stories, and worlds. That's a good thing. But in any case, the theme is about the age of the deep sea, the thing that Aldrich dreamed of. Corrupted waters, a coastal area with seaside temples and fishing villages, but then this dual level design where you've got all that above ground stuff I just mentioned, but then this whole world of underwater. It will feature classic mechanics of the Soulsborne series, but with new things like weapon types, magic, and so on. And as much as I like the theme and idea for this, the eldritch horror that's a bit more Cthulhu than Bloodborne's cosmic style, I still doubt the leak based on the wording. This sounds fan-made up to me. Having said that, again, they're surely working on something. We know they're working on several projects at once now, and logically continuing the extremely successful Soulsborne style of game they've been refining for a decade, well, that makes sense too. But there you have it. That's my overview of the current Elden Ring DLC news, Armored Core, and the questionable Project Abyss. Will we hear anything about any of these three in the coming days with Gamescom Asia? Or will we have to wait for the Game Awards in December? I'm currently recording this video just before that Gamescom event, so who knows? If you enjoy these news and recap style videos though, let me know with a like so I can keep making them. But otherwise, I've been Hollow, you've been you, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Josh, Cotton, and Hollow with the videos, dropping the humor like a hammer on your tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a daily arrangement to take our insanity and turn it into entertainment. Yes, I said entertainment twice, to reiterate that it is nice to look into your faces on a mostly daily basis when you let us in your homes to make the whole world a stage. Goodbye.